Welcome. I'm decoding the Bible, chapter by chapter, line by line, sentence by sentence. And we are at Genesis 10. Genesis 10, we can talk about the table of nations. And if you read it first, it looks like a telephone book. And if you analyze it, it is like a telephone book. There's literally no code inside. It's just a description of how the three sons of Noah spread out in the different regions of the world, from Africa to Asia to Mesopotamia and others. It is literally a geographical map. It shows there's no chaos, there's organized multiplication. And very interesting, it gets at chapter 11, the Tower of Babel. 11.1. The whole earth had one language and one speech. Translation mistake, it's one voice. What it says, unity all over. And what this unity can do, I think it's incredibly important for our nowadays life as well to see and to be remembered. It's incredibly important. They made bricks and burned them. They settle, they develop a brick system. By the way, a brick system stands for repetition. You need brick by brick by brick to build something. Repetition is key for success. You want to learn an instrument, you want to learn a new dance, repetition is key. You want to build your muscle, repetition is key. All you need is repetition and you will build something amazing. In 11.4, they always starting to drift away a little bit from what they should do. They say, let us build ourselves a city and a tower. Let us make a name for ourselves and build the tower towards heavens. Well. The ego drive starts right here. The competition with God. It's because they don't want to have a mission anymore where they do something for a higher purpose. No, they want to build a legacy with their own name and they want to have a tower that reaches heavens. Well, very ironically, and almost, I love the next sentence, 11.5. It says, the Lord came down to see the city and the tower. The Lord came down. The human thinks they can build a tower towards heaven and they're reaching the level of God. God will always come down. You will never reach the level of God. That's why this one sentence, short, but very on point, and I really like it. And what does God do? God recognizes the superpower. And it is a superpower. Alignment is a superpower. When are we aligned? I can look towards Germany. I can look to America. We have the Democrats, we have the Republicans, and they're fighting. And whenever people fight, there's no alignment. What this chapter shows is when we have alignment, we can build an empire. So look closely. Do you have alignment in your company? Do you have alignment in your family? Do you have alignment with your partner? Because only if you have alignment, you can build something amazing. But here comes the point. Always make sure it deans a higher purpose or is driven by faith or a very good will. The moment the ego comes in and you try to do something and you try to pleasure your ego and your name, and no, it will be disrupted. And this is exactly what happens in Genesis 11.7. Let us disrupt, confuse the language. Also very important, because we learned in the previous chapters that God made a promise not to press the reset button anymore and send another flood. He could have said, what? You want to build a tower towards heaven? You know what? Flood and game over. He doesn't do that. God keeps his promise. He keeps his agreement. But he disrupts the language. And in this moment where the communication is disrupted, the flow is broken, and exactly that happens. 11.8, they stopped building. And the Tower of Babel, by the way, very interesting wording, because when you look at the Hebrew word, Bavel is the original one, but Balal is a wordplay, it's also used. It means confusing. So the Tower of Babel is literally the Tower of the confused ones. The city of Babel is the city of confused ones, later named in Babylon, what means the gate of God. So, what did we learn? We learned alignment makes unstoppable. Check where you have to line up with your partner, with your family members, with your business, because only if you guys are aligned, you have a flow and you pull in the same direction. But lack of communication brings limitation. And this is also the problem that people don't talk with each other anymore. And that was, by the way, the tool that God used. The rest of chapter 11 is very interesting and not. We're diving deeper in the genealogy. Means chapter 10, the table of nations, was the zoom out. Chapter 11, we're zooming in. And chapter 12, what we will talk about tomorrow, will be a super zoom on Abraham. And Abraham is introduced in Genesis 11:30 in a very unspectacular way. But it is said that his wife Sarai was barren, means she cannot get children. And this is a limitation. And back in the days, it was even a weakness. A man who cannot reproduce, their hair, their family is meant to die. And this shows the two systems, Babel system versus Abraham system. Babel system, power, let us make a name. Abraham system, weakness, no hair, no future. Babel system, success. Abraham system, limitation. And Shed shows the shift from humans try to build through cities and towers, the shift towards God who builds through humans. That's why the chapter 12 starts, now the Lord had said to Abraham. And what he said, we'll talk about that tomorrow. It will be very, very interesting, I can promise you. Subscribe, follow me, comment if you have any questions. I love to read the Bible. We have still a lot to do, but I have time and I'm willing to finish this book and to decode it sentence by sentence, line by line, and develop the perfect blueprint for a fulfilled life in abundance.